Hey y'all, it's Flicky's back with another video on Overwatch today. And as you can see with the title, I just want to talk about my first impressions with Season 4 of Overwatch. Granted, it did just come out, but I did want to voice my opinion about the season so far and how I think it'll go throughout the season. So with the quick intro out of the way, let's get started with some of the changes made to the core game. Firstly, of course, we have to address the brand new hero Lifeweaver. So far, after seeing some of his gameplay, he seems like a very niche kind of hero. It is hard to say how he will exactly fit in until we see some actual pro play of him. That's if there will be any of it at all. The main issue with Lifeweaver is his lackluster healing. I feel since, he has to fully charge his healing in order to get the full output of it, just to only do about 65 healing, it's pretty lackluster. It's generally very slow and it takes a second to charge up, and plus he gets a movement penalty when he charges it up. Compared to the likes of Ana, Brig, and Kiriko, he's a very util heavy support, since his only use of healing is his main primary fire and his tree. With that said though, he does have some pretty decent util with the platform, being able to rescue his teammates or get them into higher ground, and with his grab, which cures them and also makes them invulnerable for a certain amount of time. Which all his util is great, but the thing is, would you rather have all of that over the likes of an Ana, a Brig, a Kiriko? I'm not 100% sure. So while it's still early to tell with him, I think he'll fit into a very niche category, where some people might be able to play him very well, but others might troll with him accidentally just by trying to use his util. Only time will tell basically with him. Next, we have some core mechanic changes with the new stranded spawn system changes. So if the enemy captures an objective and the spawn rooms change, like let's say for push, you can use the interact key to teleport to the new spawn room. As well, the old spawn room stays active for about 7 seconds, meaning the healing field and the doors stay active during that time. This is a pretty solid change, and I think that it allows for your team to recuperate instead of constantly staggering over and over again. Overall, I think the change is pretty decent, but I would just be wary of some people abusing the system, such as poking you from the spawn room and trying to get a pick off, and then as soon as you go to try to get them, they'll stay in the spawn room for about 7 seconds, and just when it's about to run out, they might either run to their teammates or TP to the old spawn room. So I'd say just be wary of the change. It could be kind of used as a double-edged sword. While it's generally very good for the defense side if their spawns change, so that way they can recuperate with their team, it can also be used very offensively, allowing for the defense side to get a pick, and then while still remaining safe basically. Blizzard also made some lever penalty changes, which of course is a great thing, making the punishments way harder for those who abandon those games. As well, the competitive point rewards are changed, but to equalize the point pool for all ranks basically. So the lower ranks get more of competitive points instead of Grandmasters getting about, I believe before it was 1700 competitive points. So now it's just more equal, so that way the lower ranks could get more points. But it's fine for now. I mean, hopefully this means more competitive rewards come out soon. But alongside with that, we do have some title changes, which is just a good quality of life thing, just to differentiate whether or not you were top 500, let's say roll queue or in open queue. Next, the season rank decay is now removed, and we will no longer be punished for playing more or less of Overwatch. This is taken into effect now, but as many know, there is a glitch with the system, and it has reduced some people's ranks from last season as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Sometimes your last ranked season might have been lower than what it actually was. I'm not sure if Blizzard's actually implementing a fix for that, or they just might say oops and just move on. The glitch has affected some players, notably some of my friends and some other people around the community. It hasn't affected myself. When I logged in yesterday, my ranks were completely the same from when I ended last season. Besides that, they also implemented another change with the competitive progression system. You are now able to see how many wins and losses you have in total now for that progression. So once you reach your 5 matches, you can see if you lost like 2 or 3 matches. All those changes to the competitive system, the rank points, I think solid direction that they're going in, allowing for more people to get competitive points and buy the rewards that they want. And it seems like they might be adding more competitive rewards soon if they're implementing the point changes to incentivize more players to get into competitive and earn more rewards and points to obtain the rewards that they might be adding soon. As well as the decay being removed now, I think it's a pretty positive change. I don't think really no one in the Overwatch community likes rank decay. I don't know, that's just my personal take. I never really liked the idea of rank decay ever since Overwatch 1 introduced it. It was never really my kind of thing. Just, let people play when they feel like it, but I can understand why some systems have it. Anyway, now for the balance changes. Many channels have already went over them, so I'll just discuss them for what they are. The changes made to Reinhardt are pretty minimal, but I can see the direction of making him just slightly less overbearing and tanky. I am perfectly okay with that just because, he still has his moment to shine, and it's Reinhardt. It's always great to see Reinhardt. Sigma's one-shot combo has received a change now, no longer needing just one click and the rock together because it'll just leave the target one-shot. Now instead you could still technically one-shot, but you have to incorporate a melee now at the end of the combo instead. So all you simply need to do now is rock, left click, melee, but you have to be close enough to the target to do so, which I guess is okay, which means that there's one less one shot in the game technically, but there's still that chance that Sigma could still one shot you if he incorporates a melee or if his teammate just follows up right after the rock hit. The Cassidy nerfs are perfect. I have nothing to say about that. Cassidy's been strong for way too long. The Sombra buff is weird. They're like sort of micro buffing her for these little scenarios that come up, and they're using her as a character to help gatekeep some of those power creeping characters such as Mei, Orisa, and as well as Wrecking Ball. I have been seeing more of her being played so far, but even then, she's a very annoying character just to have on the enemy team. So we just have to see and wait for her rework that's coming up. Now with the changes to Ana's Sleep Dart, I think they're actually huge, and I think it's a huge W for tank players. I think it's a huge CC change for tank players, and I think it'll make Ana's Sleep Dart a lot less frustrating for those kinds of players. While it does hurt Ana's effectiveness, she still does have a very strong form of crowd control. It's just not as effective towards tanks. But even then, a ton of supports got buffed, and I don't think Ana really is going anywhere just because of this one change. For Briggs Rally, for instance, now it's terrifying. Her ult now just makes her super giga buffed, because now she gets her tankiness all to herself and plus to her team all around. And now she doesn't even give temporary health, she gives armor during her ultimate as well. She has her giant shield and it gives her a giant stun, and it's just very painful in general just to play against now. It's just flashbacks all the way back to Overwatch 1 Brig. And what sucks is I've been seeing a lot more Brig, even though she wasn't a bad character to begin with. She's not going to be played a lot more because of the new buffs and changes to her. So unfortunately, we're going to be seeing a lot more Brig because of these changes. I think they kind of over buffed her with these changes. Hopefully they might tune her in, but it's too soon to tell if she's too strong or too weak at this point, because the season did just come out, and the way a lot of people are playing Brig is a little awkward because they're using it too much as a tank, and it's not as effective. So we just gotta wait for new playstyles to come out. The Mercy changes aren't that crazy. They're just basic revisions from the last season nerfs that they did to her. They just reverted them basically. Now for Moira, there's been a couple changes to her, including with her healing, and she of course cannot fade during her ultimate, which is amazing for our dive characters like Genji and Tracer, Monkey, Diva. It's just another change that's so great. But all jokes aside, Moira did need some sort of buff. She kind of is in a very bad spot in terms of her healing output and just what she provides in general, with a bunch of Moira players getting hated on for being called TikTok Moiras, but granted they're just damaging half the time. But I'm just joking around. She did definitely need the buffs, and let's see if this will be enough to put her back into the meta. That's about it for the balance changes. There are a couple more things I wanted to talk about though. Blizzard added a new custom map that was player made, and it's added into the arcade mode. I think it's very unique, and this is actually the first time this has been done from what I know of. Hopefully in the future this will mean some sort of map creator, and that eventually there might be some even featured maps made by the community. This is sort of kind of like how Fortnite Chapter 1 did it with the block. You would make like your own community POI, and sometimes weekly they would add it into the main map. So maybe Blizzard will be doing something like that, having like community made maps and like the arcade pool. Maybe not competitive, that's a little bit too far, but either way that would be a pretty cool change and something for the community to look forward to, especially adding a map creator. That would bring a lot of excitement and a lot of new custom games made. So far those are like the main changes made for season 4. And in my opinion, they're all very good. I really like this patch. It seems like Overwatch is heading into a very positive direction. All these changes feels like it's perfect for how Overwatch was. And honestly, it does kind of feel like this is how the game should have started. This is how the game should have been released. But that doesn't matter anymore. We're already in season 4. We're long past season 1 now and its troubles. The systems are really good in place right now, and I think if Blizzard just keeps it up with the good balance changes and the good patches and quality of life changes, Overwatch is heading into a very positive direction. Let's hope during the mid-season patch it gets even better, especially with the upcoming events with the Symmetra one, and as well as the Star Watch Galactic Rescue event that's also coming up. Now that's the event's name, that's not a name I came up with. But yeah, at the moment that's all the events that's coming out from what I saw, and that's all that's really been said so far for season 4. There might be some more things coming out soon, we just had to wait and see. But yeah, that's all I really have for today's video. If you guys liked the video, just make sure to subscribe, leave a like even, and don't forget to comment. I love reading the comment section. It's one of my favorite things now, especially from last video. It did so well, and I love the feedback and interaction from it. So thank you very much for everyone who watched that video. That's all I really have though. Appreciate you guys very much. Hope y'all have a great day.